So your first move is pretty much predetermined because where you first start off in the map, um, you want to decide what kind of resources you want to get based off of the character that you're playing. So because most of the other players start off pretty far away from you, there really is no interactions with the other players. So you have to really optimize your first few moves here based off the resources that you probably want to get. So for my guy, you could check out your special moves here. My guy has like a special river walk thing, so I know I want to get these types of resources. So what I'll do is I'll do a move. So I'll click on that to confirm. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move this guy over here. And then I'm also, because I get to move two guys, I want to move this guy over here as well. The reason why I'm moving this guy over here is because eventually if you get this main guy to land in a piece with one of these like little green guys, you get basically extra resources. These are kind of like freebies that you can pick up, but your guy has to be there. So in this case, I can only move him one move, so I move him there, and then when I just click on end turn. These are just easy bots that I'm playing. My second move, again, is predetermined. You want to like think about your moves ahead of time. Maybe you could look up a guide online or something like that. But once I'm at the resources that I want, I will probably produce. So there's a produce action here. These cards will change depending on, it's basically a card game, so it can be in any order. So don't think that this is the same every single time. It's pretty randomized. So I can produce on 2 territories. These little guys show you what type of resources that you're producing. You have to have guys on here in order to produce the resources. So this one here makes additional guys, like recruits, and then these guys here make the ore or whatever. So I'm going to click confirm. Once you confirm, you have to click here and here in order to actually produce. If you don't actually click on that, you don't actually get your items. Then you're going to end turn. Okay, these guys are going to go. And again, your third move is pretty predetermined as well too. I am going to, in this case, move. I want to talk a little bit more about the top action and the bottom action. The whole idea about this game is you want to optimize. So if you use the top action, you can also do the bottom action if you have enough resources to do so. So you want to think about your moves ahead of time. So my objective based on this character that I'm playing is I still want to create more of these resources because I want to upgrade this. So in order for me to do that, I will have to move more guys over here. So every single guy you move over to a certain spot, you create on your produce round, you'll produce that many resources. So because there's only one guy, you only produce one resource. So I'm going to move, I'll have to confirm this, and then I'm going to move this guy over here. So then if I produce again in my next turn, I'll get 2 of these, create 2 resources, and then I'm going to use another move to move this guy over here. So what I was saying is if you move this guy over here, he actually picks up this card, and then if you click this to reveal, you can pick, it's basically really a freebie that you choose to pick up. It's my turn again. You'll see that the bot and how people play is you're pretty much in your area for the first few rounds. The round number is over here, so in this round here I know I'm going to produce. And most of these moves you probably will have to pre-plan, and they're probably going to be the same every single time using the same character. So I am going to actually produce, which is this one here. Oh no, it's not. It is... Oh no, okay, I can't produce. Because... Oh no, I can't produce. Okay, it's fine. Confirm, produce. Produce here and produce here. And then I don't have enough resources to do the bottom move, so I'm going to just end turn. You can also see your resources and your opponent's resources here. So I am this guy here, the yellow horse. These are the resources I have, but what's more important is like these objectives. If you maximize these objectives, which is basically doing the bottom movement a certain number of times, you will get a star. Once you hit 6 stars, the game, once somebody hits 6 stars, the game is over and the points are tallied. Because of my because of how I'm playing this and the strategy I've decided I want to maximize this particular what's it called? Max. I want to max this out because I get a lot of powers with max based off of my character. You can check your character power here. I can walk over rivers and things like that. So that's kind of what I'm going for, which is why since the beginning of this game I've been trying to get this resource here. So what I'm going to do is I believe I just produced on my last round. Now I have 3 of these metal guys, which means I can do this move. But in order for me to do this move, I have to do something on the top. So I have 2 options. This one, which is bolster power, or this one, which is combat card. I'm going to go with bolster power. I'm going to confirm this, and then that allows me to do the bottom move. So I'm going to confirm here, select the resources, and then I get to choose. This is a special character ability. For me, I'm just going to go for this wayfair thing. This is character specific. And then I'm going to move that here, which is a poor choice. Now, let's say you want to redo your stuff over again. You can click on this undo button. So let's do that again. I actually wanted to place him here. So what I'll do is I'm going to click on, oh, I already did the bolster. I'm going to do this, and I'm going to confirm this, select the resources, and click on Wayfair, and I actually want to put him here. And the reason why I want to put him here is because this guy can move these other guys with them. So these guys will load into this mech, and then the mech will move the guys. So instead of rather moving them one by one, you can load them up and then move them together. So that's why I wanted to put them here. Once I produce enough people, I am going to move them all together. Now you also notice that if you maximize and produce all of your people, which is 8 people, you can then move all of your people together, but also at the same time, once you max these people out, that gives you a star as well. That's a common star that people mainly get unless they go for a different strategy. But that's a really common one, so I'm going to go for that first. You'll notice that you can't do the same action 2 times. So because I just produced in my last turn, it forces me to do something else in this turn. So what I'm going to do is I have 2 of these resources, and again I'm trying to go for the max, so I'm focusing on that strategy right now. So I need 3 in order to do that. So instead of doing produce, another way to get resources is if you go to trade. So you pay 1 coin and you can get any 2 resources. So I'm going to click confirm, and you can put these resources anywhere, and then I'm going to enter. That's another way to get resources if you don't want to produce. On this particular turn, you'll notice that I have a star, and it's because I've maxed out the number of people that I have created, so that gives me 1 star here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to move on this turn here, and I'm going to move this out of here. So because I've maxed out all the people that I can possibly get, I am just going to, I don't need them there anymore in order to get more people. So I'm going to load them all up into this guy, this mech, and you can also bring your resources with you as well too. If you leave your resources there and your opponent comes to your hex for some reason, they can take your resources. So then you want to move them to another hex where you're going to focus next. So this one here, I'm going to focus on this food thingy, agriculture. So I'm going to move them all there. So all of them are moved in 1 movement. Now I still have another move. I am going to now move this guy here, and this guy again, I think he can also, this guy cannot load people, but it can load resources. So for example, if I wanted to, I can load this one. I'm not going to. One thing you have to consider is most characters cannot walk across rivers. You don't want to be in a position where you're stuck in the 4 hexes only. So look at your character's abilities, see what you have to upgrade in order for you to walk over rivers. So I've done that already, so I can move into this area over here. This is pretty character specific, but just read your cards to see how you can get over a river, because you don't want to be in a position where you're stuck in the 4 hexagons only, because then you're screwed. In this move, I'm going to be upgrading. This is actually called Enlist. So this is one of the upgrades that we have here that we can max out. And so you get to choose one of these options. So you can hover over to see what you're choosing or what you want to maximize. I have no idea, so I'm just going to choose this one here. And then you can choose a bonus I am just going to choose, I don't know, I look to see what I have, what I'm low in, and I'll go ahead and choose that. So it really doesn't matter. But yeah, sometimes when you upgrade, it tells you to pick certain things. So another way to get a victory point other than just building and upgrading is to maximize these out. So if you hover over this to tell you what the maximum is, so right now I have 6. To get to a maximum of 16, I will also give myself another star. So now that I have built all of my mechs, have I? I have 3. I only need 1 more. So once I build them all out, and I don't need this resource any longer, because really if I max this out and I don't need this resource any longer, I can just start moving these guys out to the next resource that I want to focus on. So I just did the upgrade action, which is this one right here, and basically you notice how some of the squares were grayed out. What you do is you can ungray those out. So let's say right now you're paying 1 coin for 1 popularity. You can pay 1 so you can pay 1 coin for 2 popularity or something like that. You can gain more by removing this. So for example, let's say I want to go for this one here, bolster, right? So I can get 3 bolsters for the cost of the same as what I previously would have gotten 2 for by adding the resource there. So taking this out. So basically I get more for less. So I pay less, but I get more. So one thing you want to note is you can build buildings, and it's this upgrade right here, but you have to have a guy on that in order to build a building. Now in order to max out your buildings, you need 4 buildings. So even though I'm done with this resource, I no longer need this resource, I'm still going to leave 1 guy behind so that I can still build a building there. So I'm only going to move all but 1. So I'm going to concentrate on this resource next, and I'm just going to leave that guy there. Near the end of the game, you can click this for preview, because if you're kind of close to finishing out your stars, you want to make sure that you're ahead, because it doesn't mean that if you finish the stars first, you'll win. It just means that the game is over and then things get tallied up. So in this case, if I finish right now, I would win, but I just want to keep a close eye on that because it's pretty close here. And then there's also these like special objectives. You can click on this button here to see what your special objective is. Most likely it's different for every game. This is like a random different card in the actual board game. So mine is control at least 3 tundra territories or have a 3 or less popularity. So I actually completed this one, so I'm going to click complete there. So you do this right before your turn ends. Okay, so seems what happened is an enemy came into my territory, and this enemy wants to fight me, and I have this ability to steal one of their opponents, so I'm going to go or steal one of their stuff, so I can go ahead and do that. Now you can choose the firepower that you use during combat. So because I had already maxed mine out and I already got a star for that, I don't care, I'm just going to max it out. But this also weakens you, so if you decide to use 7 of you max out at 7 of your bolster power. This maximum is 14 here, but in the battle you can only use 7. You could also add to that your combat cards as well too. So you can see how many combat cards your opponent has. This guy is the red guy, I think. So he has 9 plus he has 10 combat cards. So it's possible that he can win, and if he wins, he gets whatever is on the square that I own. So I'm not going to take that risk. I'm going to just max it out. Click on fight to see what happens. Okay, so 16 versus 11. So he loses. He also loses the 7 points that he put into this battle as well too. So I think you'll notice that as well. Okay, so what happens, because I just won the battle, I got a star for it, and that was my last star, and the game is over. Things get tallied now. I didn't check recently, but it does look like I might win this one. We'll see. Hooray, I won! Ta-da! That's how you play the game.